Hello guys, welcome back. So in the previous lecture, we have seen how we can implement the push method in the doubly linked list, right? So now it's time to see how we can pop a node in the doubly linked list, right? So for that, we have to implement the pop method in the linked list, doubly linked list. It's not like tricky as the singly linked list, because in the singly linked list, if you remember, for popping a node, we have to come from all the way up, from the head all the way up till the tail, right? We have to start from the head node, and then we have to iterate through the whole list to reach the tail and to pop it, right? But that's not the case with the doubly linked list. Okay, let me show you how. So let's say we have these nodes. I'll take an example of this one itself. Okay, so let's say we have node 1, node 2, node 3. Okay, so this is, let's consider as head node, this one is middle node, and this one is tail node. Okay, so if you want to pop this node, right, so for that what you have to do, you simply have to access the last node, which is tail node, directly, and then you just have to remove the connection from it. Okay, you have to remove this node dot previous as null, and then this node dot next as null. Okay, so then in this case the connection will be removed from this node and this node, and then we are going to make this node as a new tail. It's as simple as that, right? But if you think about the singly linked list, how we used to do is, okay, so let me quickly, yeah, so this is how the singly linked list works, right? So if you want to remove the last node, then in that case, in singly linked list, okay, in SLL, right, what you have to do, you have to come from here, then here, and then here. You have to come here like last second node in order to make it the new tail, and then you have to remove the connection between the last second node and the last node, right? It was just one directional, so we had to remove last second nodes dot next value as null. Okay, basically this thing, then only the connection will be broken here in this case, right, between these two nodes, right? And then we used to make this one as a new node. Okay, it was little bit of work in removing the node from the singly linked list from the end, but it's not that much tricky in this case, right? So now let's quickly write down the logic. Okay, so let's write pop method. Obviously we are going to, or let me guys just remove autosave, because I used to keep it on for my work. Okay, yeah, now the first thing we have to check is if there is no node. Okay, if no, we can take length, we can take this dot head or whatever we want. We just have to make sure like there is no node, right? Okay, so this time I'm going to take length. If there is no length, then return. I think undefined only we used to return, right? I don't remember actually. Let me quickly see. Okay, so we used to return undefined only, right? And that is what I'm going to follow here as well. Let me close it. Okay, so if we are removing nothing, if there is no length, okay, we simply have to return undefined. Otherwise what we have to do, we have to store our last node, which is our current tail. Okay, or let's use this, let's remove node equals to this dot tail, right? So right now we are storing this current tail in a separate variable. Okay, now we have to check few conditions, and before that let's quickly return the removed node, right? Okay, and here we have to do this dot length minus minus, basic thing which we used to do in every pop method, right? So whenever we are removing something from the list, we have to simply decrement the length. Okay, and then the remove node, which node we are going to remove, we are going to return it at the end. Okay, now here is the main logic which we have to write. So let's say if you have a doubly linked list which have just one node. Okay, so in this case what we can do, if this dot length equals to 1. Okay, so in this case we simply have to set the head and tail both as null. Okay, this dot head equals to null, and then this dot tail equals none. Okay, so this is the scenario where you have just one node and then you are using pop method. Okay, so in that case we have to simply empty these doubly linked list, right? Otherwise what we have to do, we simply have to update the new tail first. Okay, this dot tail equals to remove node dot previous. Okay, if you remember, the doubly linked list works in the both the directions, right? So we can simply access the previous node from the tail node itself. Okay, so now what we have done is we have made the current tail's previous node as a new tail. Okay, this is what we have done. And this dot tail dot next, we have to make it as null. Okay, so yeah, remove node dot previous, and then this dot tail equals to remove node, this dot, yeah. Now there is one more thing which we have to do, which is remaining here. So far it looks good, but I'll show you one more thing. Like, we have to add it previous, right? So since we are breaking the connection from the new tail dot next, we are making it as null, we have to break the connection from here as well. Remove node dot previous also, we have to make it null to remove this node completely. Okay, so let's quickly first check whether it is working fine or not, and then then I will explain you basically why we need this. Technically it is not required, but it is an important aspect of the pop method. Okay, so that's why we have to add it, right? So let's quickly see first whether our pop method which we have written is working fine or not. So DLL, let's quickly add few nodes in it. Okay, okay, I have to save it, guys, right? So yeah, now let's see our DLL whether it is working fine. We have head node, the length is 3, we have the tail node. Okay, so the tail node is 3. Okay, this one basically, right? And the previous node of this tail node is 2, and then the next node is null. That is fine so far, right? Now let's quickly pop from the linked list. Okay, let's see what happens. So if I pop, it is returning the popped node. Okay, so it is completely detached from the linked list right now. See, its next is null, its previous is null. That means this node is completely detached from the linked list chain, right? And then we can again see our DLL, our length is 2, and then length is 2, the new tail is this value 2. Okay, now let's pop it until we get like we reach the last element. Okay, now we have removed 2 as well. That means we only have 1 as a node in the linked list, right? So let's quickly see. Right now we have the length is 1, and then yeah, length is 1, head is 1, tail is 1. That means we just have one node, right? Now if I again hit this pop, then 1 also got removed, right? Now DLL is going to be empty. There is no head, no tail, nothing, right? Now if I again try to use the pop, then I'm getting undefined, right? Okay, so that means if there is no node and still we are trying to pop a node, then we'll simply get undefined here, as you can see. So far our linked list implementation, that pop method implementation, is working fine. Now let me get back to the question, what if we don't write this logic? Because most of you guys will ask me like, is it really required to remove the previous connection? Because technically we are removing the tail, right? We are detaching the tail dot next, we are making it as null, so this node will be removed, right? But you have to keep in mind the doubly linked list work in both the ways. Okay, and we are returning the remove node. So if I don't detach the remove node dot previous, then we can simply access the complete linked list chain through that particular node itself. Okay, now let me show you the drawback of it. If you're not detaching the last node dot previous, right? If you're not making it as null. Okay, so here again we have DLL, okay, which have length 3. Okay, the tail is 3. Now if I pop something, Okay, now if I remove something, right? So dll dot pop. Okay, so I removed this node. As you can see, dot next is null. Okay, but if you see here, we have this previous node which we are not setting to null. So with that, what will happen? We can simply access all the nodes from that particular node itself, all the previous nodes from that node. See, we have the complete chain here, right? So that is why to detach this node completely, it's necessary to set this dot remove node dot previous also as null. Okay, so if you are removing this node dot next, that means this connection. If you are breaking this connection, then you have to break this connection as well. From here we cannot access the existing linked list. Okay, so that is why it is important to write this line of code as well. Okay, so yeah, this is how we used to pop a node from the doubly linked list. I hope you guys liked it. Okay, so this is it for today's lecture. See you in the next one.